Hi, I'm Connie from Minerva, and today we're going to talk all about poplin. This is one of my favorite fabrics to work with, so today I wanted to give you an introduction to what is poplin, show you some of the beautiful options we have on Minerva, and then give you some ideas of what you can make with this. Poplin is a tightly woven fabric that's commonly used for shirting. It's known for being mostly made out of cotton, but you can also find versions made from wool, silk, rayon, polyester. Most of the versions I'm showing you today from Minerva are 100% cotton, but then we do have a few options that are stretch or they're a blend, so a polycotton. Because of the way it's woven, poplin is soft fabric, but it's also quite strong and durable. To give you an idea, it's kind of on a scale between lawn and broadcloth, lawn being a little bit finer, maybe slightly transparent, poplin being in the middle, and then broadcloth is thicker and a little bit coarser to the touch as well. Poplin is great for beginners because it's really easy to work with. Whenever you're cutting, it's not going to shift or stretch. It's really easy to press, and even the lighter weight versions go through most machines pretty easily. I know whenever I was first starting out, one of my greatest fears was that my sewing machine would eat my fabric. So this is a great option if you want to start dipping your toes in, working with those lighter, more delicate fabrics, but you're afraid that your machine might eat it. It's also really versatile. You can make shirts, of course, but also dresses. For example, the one I'm wearing is made from cotton poplin. Tops such as this one, you can make trousers, pajamas, and it would work well for a lot of different craft projects. And I recommend always keeping any leftover fabric scraps you have of poplin because they're very useful for those small details such as pockets, lining certain pieces, or even face masks. And the best part about poplin is that it comes in so many different designs and so many colors. So even if you only wanted to sew cotton poplin for the rest of your life, I don't think you would ever be bored. So let's talk about the options that we have here from Minerva. Everything I'm going to show you today is shoppable on the Minerva website. Just scroll to the bottom of this post and you can see the links for all the fabrics that we're discussing. And we are going to start with floral simply because, as you can see, I can never have too many florals in my closet. So this first option I love because it's so classy and elegant. I will never get tired of this. So we have pink flowers on a kind of ivory background. As you can see, it is a little bit transparent because this is a lighter weight poplin in a lighter color. So I would recommend putting a lining below this depending on what kind of garment you're making, but it's so cute. And here we have a lovely springtime minty blue color. I love the flowers on this one because it's more of an illustrated style. I think this would be perfect for like Easter dresses and stuff like this. If you want to go for a larger, bolder print, then this one is for you. This one is from Art Gallery. They're really known for having those prints and designs that are a little bit more special, a little bit more difficult to find. I think this one is gorgeous. It would look best in a large garment where you really have the space to appreciate the print. Think of it as a canvas for the fabric. So like a flared skirt, maybe a longer dress. And here's another dark floral. I don't know what it is about dark florals, but I find them so mesmerizing and beautiful. This one is from the Lady McElroy line of fabrics, and I just love the design on this. It feels like it's a little bit inspired by like East Asian ink wash drawings. I mean, just look at the colors on this bird and the flowers around it. This is also one of those lighter weight ones. It's super soft. This next one also has a really interesting color palette. I don't know if you call this a dark floral or not. I love the composition. It's quite spaced out, and pink and red are always a winning combo in my opinion. Next one, I'm not sure if it counts as a floral, but I'm gonna say it does. It's such a cute pattern for summer. It makes me think of some Dolce & Gabbana vibes with these lemons. This one is also available in a dark version or this white version that you see here. This one would also probably need to be lined depending on what you're making, but I'm already envisioning like a little puffy sleeve summer dress for this one. Here we have another Art Gallery print. I think this one has a more youthful feel to it, but I think it could also work not just for children's garments, but also adults. I mean, It just depends on how much whimsy you're going for. The color palette is really soft. Everything's kind of bluish and grayish. It's really gorgeous. So if you're feeling a little bit wilder than the bunny rabbits, you could go with one of these jungle prints. As you can see, they are from the same line of fabrics because you can tell that they have a really coherent color palette. One is a smaller print with little cheetahs and trees and stuff. And the other one is a larger leaf print. The colors here are just so interesting because overall it's dark, but then you have these really vivid splashes of like fuchsia and red coming in there, and I find it really interesting. And if you like the idea of a large scale leaf pattern, but maybe this one was a little bit too busy for you, I'd recommend checking out this Lady McElroy fabric. So you have really large leaves, as you can tell by the scale here. But since everything is in a very blue color palette, it feels much more restrained and maybe a little bit more put together. I also love the little texture you have with the polka dots here. And if you want to be even more out there, then you can go with this kind of leopard cheetah print. The color is interesting here because it's not really blue and it's not really green in the background. It's really in between. The colors are very bold, so I don't know if you'd make this for clothes, maybe children's clothing. I think it would be great for craft projects. You know, I think it would be really fun to have an ironing board cover made out of this, for example. And our last kind of crazy print is this Robert Kaufman nesting doll pattern. So Robert Kaufman is very well known for having high quality fabrics. I feel like lately I've seen a lot of these Russian nesting dolls coming up on my Instagram feed. A lot of people doing embroidery, for example, on t-shirts or on jeans. I'm not really sure where the trend is coming from, but they're pretty cute. You can use this for children's garments, for craft projects, or even if you want to go for a kind of kitschy vintage vibe, this kind of print would work really well. It could also be fun to use the little leftover people and cut them out and use them as applique for a jean jacket, for a t-shirt or something like this. These two options are both polka dots. This mint green one, I guess pistachio colored, is a more classic kind of polka dot that you're used to seeing. I think this color is really lovely because it has that vintage vibe to it, but it's available in like several different colors if you look on the Minerva website. And then this one, it's polka dots but more in a swirly design. I think this would work great for any kind of garment, for women, children, men. I've already seen a few people use this for button-ups. And these last two designs before the solids are both tartans. I love a tartan. I feel like you can't go wrong with them and they work all year round. This one, depending on what kind of pattern you make with it, it could feel a little bit more wintry because it is such a dark color green, and I mean, the colors are just so rich and beautiful. I love this one. And then this, I feel like you can wear any time of the year. A men's button-up shirt, a woman's winter dress, maybe just a simple skirt, and of course any kind of craft project. And last but not least, we have all the solids. So look at these colors. I mean, you have everything ranging from these really vivid bright colors like fuchsia and red. You have more earthy tones like this orange, and then some really classic colors like navy and light blue, which you can easily imagine in a kind of button-up shirt. That's why I love Poplin so much, because you're able to achieve these lovely colors, all kinds of prints. It's really so versatile. And these last two fabrics are a little bit special from the others because they're stretch cotton. So that means that they are 96% cotton and 4% elastane. So as you can see, you get a little bit of stretch here. It's never gonna feel like wearing a knitted garment, but that tiny bit of stretch is gonna help make you feel more comfortable. For example, wearing a fitted garment, or if you are worried about having a big family meal, that tiny bit of stretch is going to make you a little bit more comfortable. So now that you have a taste of what is available to work with, I wanted to get your creative juices flowing and give you a few ideas of what you can make with the poplin that you find on the Minerva website. I love the idea of taking one fabric in two different colorways and mixing them in one garment. So here's an example from Inanna Apparel, who is a Minerva maker. She took two floral poplins and put them together for this kind of wrap dress. I think this idea would work equally well with a polka dot. Here, this has several colors available, as well as a floral like Inanna did. Or you could make a vintage style dress, such as Butterick 6453. Actually, I'm wearing one version of it right now, which I have made in Poplin with a fitted skirt. And then I love this version by Serena Jean, who has made version A that has a flared skirt and pockets. And this is actually the dark version of the lemon print that I showed you earlier. And then I would personally recommend this large scale print. I think it would look great in the flared version, or with the whimsical bunny print that we saw earlier. I think it would be very romantic. This is also a great example of where using a stretch poplin might be a little bit more comfortable, since that waist is supposed to be pretty fitted. Of course, one of the most popular things to make with poplin is button-up shirts. However, I would also like to recommend a shirt dress. I love the Rita shirt dress from Name Patterns. I think it's just so put together, but it looks so easy at the same time. I would look great in any kind of, in any solid color or any of the prints that we just saw. I haven't actually made this one yet, but it's been on my list for a while now. Another big source of inspiration for me is ready-to-wear fashion. One brand I like to look at is called Merlet, because they make a lot of garments with either cotton poplin or cotton lawn, mostly dresses, but what they're really known for are kind of gathered skirts and very voluminous garments. I think cotton poplin can look really great in these designs because it is a little bit thicker, and so the way it drapes and it falls, it can just feel very luxurious and chic for those voluminous garments. So I picked out two sewing patterns I thought could go along those lines, which are McCall's 7948 or McCall's 8108. So this first one has these gathered skirts, which I really love, and what I like about the second one are those puffy sleeves in option A. Poplin is a great fabric for puffy sleeves because it has enough structure, it can hold itself up, unlike lawn, but it's still very light and breathable, so you're not wearing like weights on your shoulders. So these are just kind of two starting points, but there's so many different options on the Minerva website if you want to check them out. If you enjoyed this video or any of the fabrics that you saw, be sure to drop us a like down below and also scroll through those links if you want. And if you're looking for more inspiration, you can scroll down the product pages to see what other Minerva makers have created using the same fabrics. So I hope you feel inspired to start sewing with cotton poplin. I would love to know what's on your sewing list, so tell me in the comments below.